Hey, I'm gonna do a video on the Camaro I'm working on. A bunch of the stuff got lost on the other channel, so some of you may have seen this already. This is a 74 I had back when I was back in school when I was younger. Sold it in college. Basically like the one I'm working on now. I just hadn't gotten around to doing the back of it, so. The computer this stuff was on is screwed up too, so I lost all I got of these pictures. But anyway, crappy pictures taken in the winter at best. Not well this is going to show up, but anyway. I had shaved the firewall and was going to run everything through the like the vintage air into a bulkhead underneath the fender well and stuff to where you couldn't see it to keep everything clean. But this is when I tracked it down. It was for sale. The guy that had it after me, so almost went and bought it back. This I think was the last time I found it up for sale. Somebody had kind of had the idea of doing what I did to the back, but I think that kind of sucks. But anyway, I had bought a 70 when I found it for sale. Bought it at night. It was all rusted out. Like I'm gonna put some videos on after all this stuff, but basically it was too far gone. And then I found the 74 that I'm working on now. It was kind of to replace this one, and I'm doing it the way I would have done this if I had the time, because the back was never finished. Still got the dorky bumpers and all that. So anyway, so the 70 or the 74 I'm doing is basically just replacing this car that I had back when I was younger in high school and college. And I had a bunch of pictures and videos and stuff. All that got lost, and this is pretty much all that's left are these 4 or 5 pictures. So anyhow, I think I'd made a video like this, but it got lost on the other channel, so figures as much. Anyhow, so the one I got now, I'm thinking about doing that. I'll see what videos I can find that are still on the computer, but I was wanting to do the turboed LS motor that I got parts gathered together for that whenever I get a chance. So anyhow, I've got some of the video of me working on the back of it, so I'll try to tack that on the end of this to kind of do a video replace some of what I had on the other channel. So anyway, hey guys, it begins. Thought I'd never get this thing in here and start working on it, but finally got it. I don't want to speak too soon, but I think this might be a little easier than a lot of people have made it out to be. I've seen a few people on the internet trying to do the same thing. Basically all I did is drilled out these welds here and then took the back of it apart with a sledgehammer. Still kind of identify this, but just kind of drilled those out and then ripped it off of there. Anyway, seen a couple people that tried the same thing. They ended up just kind of slicing this whole thing off and pulling the whole back of this apart. I think if I cut the other panel, right in here or something like that, lay it right back over top of here and weld it in the same place and leave this alone. That way I'm not moving any of this. The trunk will still shut like it's supposed to. Haven't messed with any of the structure or anything. Then I could probably just leave this section here and cut everything else out. Maybe just cut around here and then remove this section here. I won't be able to do this with one hand, but I'd have to totally cut this out to be able to weld this back in. But anyway, pretty much from here down I'm gonna have to cut that probably off the 70. Might even have to make it because there's a lot of dough on the 70 right here, but this is shooting in right there for that light mounted in. I'm gonna have to make pretty much all of this section here where it kind of tapers out, and I don't know if I'd be better off to just hack this thing off and cut the part off the 70 and weld it onto this, or try to actually line it up and weld it onto what I've got. I was pulling the frame, the bracing and stuff for the bumper. Was actually had like a big breaker bar and was turning it. The shackles and the leaf springs were actually twisting this way. I think if I bought better, thicker plates with the shackle bolts, it'd probably take out some of that. But I think that's actually holding the back of this car kind of together, keeping those frame rails. So I need to do something to brace it up back here. And I also seen a thing on the internet. I think it was like a Hotchkiss video or something. They up above the rear end, in between the frame rails, they added a piece of pipe in between drilled holes and slid a piece of tubing. I think it was like 2-inch tubing that they welded in to brace up the frame. I might do that up above the rear end and back here, just to kind of stiffen that up. I swear that bumper probably weighs like 300 pounds. They said it's closer to like 150 or 200 reading on the internet, but I think that's like 300 pounds. I had to drag it out of the garage. So this car will definitely be lighter, but not really trying to take the easy way out. I just don't see, having to cut a whole bunch of stuff off if I can leave it, keep the structure. This, I kind of hate to hack up a brand new part, but I think if I cut right along this line here, I'd actually lay this thing right in here and weld it, and then leave all this, leave all this stuff alone. Just because otherwise I'd have to completely cut this whole back section out right here. And I may still have to do that, I don't really know, but I could kind of care less. If you look in the trunk and tell that it's still the 74 style. I just wanted to like the looks of the taillights. There's not really a right way to do this, period, so I'm not real concerned with that. I just want the car to be structurally sound back here. So anyway, I'll fire this back up and I decide what I'm going to do. Dad's telling me to leave a lot of excess and whatever I cut off the 70, just so I'm sure I've got enough. So anyway, and I've also got the lower quarters I'm going to put on, because I think this right here is actually shorter. It's going to need to come out quite a ways. So anyway, I'll shut this down and fire it back up and get some more done.
You just tacked it in a couple of spots. What's the quarter on this side look like when you put it up there?
Not out here.
Put it up on the other side. I can get it. Yeah, you could stick one of those taillights in there and make sure you got room and stuff. Yeah. So what the next, once you get that tacked in, the next step is to cut the quarter off the other one?
Yeah. I think I'm just going to take this whole section, because I got to trim and mess with this.
Right.
I think I'm just going to keep it all in one piece since it's there. I'll come back and section this.
Bring you guys back when we got some more. Yeah. I mean, you knew you were going to have some alignment issues and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's going to work now, put it that way.
This was hard to begin with.
Yeah. Alright, bring you guys back when we got some more. And get a shot of this while he's piecing some things together to get that alignment. Stuff like that, but that gives you an idea anyway. And while I'm out here,
alright guys, I'm going to make this kind of quick. It's getting late. Got this pretty close. Put a strip of metal in underneath this and drilled some holes here and did the plug welds. Then I just got some self-tapper screws. I just got one holding in now. That way I can kind of get all this stuff trimmed where it'll fit and all that, and then I can pull it back off, because I'm going to have to go in. I want to tie in both frame rails with like I've got some 2x4 steel. I want to actually weld in between the two frame rails and then above the rear end to kind of strengthen that up, and then I can make my bumper mounts off of that. So I don't know exactly what I got to do underneath that. So I want to get everything kind of fitting like I want, and see what kind of room I need, and then I can go in, because this has got to be in place before I can figure out where those bumper mounts need to be. So anyway, it lines up pretty good on this side. The other one's all jacked up, but never really noticed it until I was doing this and looked at some pictures. This is, I guess they're all like this. I don't know why they did that, but every one of them, even the factory ones, they kind of have a bigger gap in the center of the trunk than right here. So I don't know. Got the taillights fitting and all that though. I just got the bumpers bolted in through that tail panel. So anyway, it's pretty close. Might have to do a little bit of trimming right here to move this over a little bit, I think. But otherwise, looks like the gaps are pretty good. Anyway, I'll shut this off and get in the house. Just wanted to kind of show the progress on it. So it's getting there. It's almost a shame to put the spoiler back on it after all this work I'm gonna have to go through. So I might leave it without one. I don't know. All right, guys, I'm gonna upload this and maybe make some more progress tomorrow. Thanks. Hey guys, found some more interesting stuff on the internet for sale. Just wanting to do a turbo on the last Camaro I had, and so I'm doing it this time. I think this is a combination of a kit that somebody hacked up, kind of screwed up. I don't really know. This is on the wrong side. Everything's upside down. I think this is the way the turbo is supposed to be clocked. Got the return line for oils on the top and the feeds on the bottom. This stuff's all completely reversed. If you put this, I'll shut this off and put it on the way they had it. The turbo is actually aiming just kind of off into the front. It's not really angled right. Seems like it's not supposed to be like that. This other stuff doesn't really fit, so I think they kind of hacked it up and welded it in the wrong place. So I'm gonna have to modify all this to begin with. So wasn't really concerned with it. I figure out of the parts I can, come up with something. Anyway, got a bunch of stuff here with it. So anyway, I'll shut this down and reassemble in a different direction and see if it makes more sense. This is the first time I ever screwed with this stuff, so this is going to be an experiment. So yeah, like I say, this is anybody with experience with this stuff. This is all upside down, but the way this is sitting, I think, was more what it was intended for. I think they welded it all wrong, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so this is the way they had it set up. I just don't know if I like the way this thing's clocked down like that. Got your oil feed here on the top and the return will be down here on the bottom. I just like that to be, I think they could have done this a little bit different. Yeah. So, like I said though, this is a cheap way to get into this. I'll learn from this. Probably end up rerouting all this stuff anyway. So, tuck it in a little bit tighter. Probably get this thing up in here somewhere. But anyway, that's it anyhow. Anybody that's got any experience with this stuff, I may be talking to you. Got the intercooler over here and some extra stuff. Blow off valve and stuff like this. So anyway, this is kind of cool. Just got this kind of mocked up to see what I was dealing with. I still haven't even bought the motor mounts for this Camaro yet, so I'll probably when I go to start tearing into this motor and rebuilding it, I'll probably use just the block and mock it up in the car and then kind of fit all this stuff up. Anybody with any experience with this though, I always thought you didn't want these things aiming weird because it affects the way the oil flows through them. So that's the big thing with this, is the oil. So yeah. Then if I did this, I could definitely tuck that in a whole lot tighter. That's just kind of crazy. So anyway, thought that was kind of cool. I was wanting to do that. on the other car I had. So tried to order the 2 matching front wheels for this, and got an email like a day later, said it's like 6 to 8 weeks back order, so I just canceled it. So I'm gonna have to find some probably used somewhere instead of trying to order them. It's just gonna take too long. But anyway, can't seem to find a fiberglass cowl hood for this thing. I can find the whole hood, I can't find the scoop to mold on that's long enough. I like them to come up and match the windshield instead of sitting there like that one is here. Longest one I can find is like 55 inches, and that's too short. I think this one's about that, the one that's on this hood, so walk around. Anyway, I just don't like the way this stuff looks. Like, I measured this one, it's about 54, 55 inches, and I just like them to come all the way up into the windshield, which would mean I'd have to scoot this whole thing forward. The aftermarket hoods on these Camaros, since you've got this section here, they pretty much stop up in here, so if you run this further up, it just looks kind of funky. I don't know. I guess the front of these cars is just really long, the way that window slopes, so. Anyway, and I'm thinking about running like a 6-inch cowl. I gotta find out, depending on what I do with that turbo setup, what I need to do. But anyway, I don't really know if I'm making progress. I'm just kind of collecting stuff at this point. So, alright guys, I think I'll just go and upload this. Just figured I'd show this stuff, and alright. Alright guys, so a little update here. Got the tires mounted on those wheels I got. So do a quick walk around here. Looks pretty cool, I think. Got plenty of clearance, so. The air shocks are kind of crooked right now, so got different size front tires on it, so it'll level out afterwards. That one's a little bit closer on that side. I don't think there's any saving this. Probably make another one out of steel. Yep. Anyway, like I said, that passenger side sitting down a little further than the driver's side, so we'll close that gap up a little bit. I don't know if it's showing up or not. Yeah, you can kind of see. So, alright, anyway, just gotta find a couple more to match the front now, and go from there.